Yo, this is Blair. I'm sitting here having a beer in a pub in Kyoto, Japan. And I just want to talk about a very important concept, important thing that we don't think about a lot, and that's about fear. And what fear, the problems that it causes, right? We all have fears. It's a natural human instinct. I have fears all the time. And before I get into the fear, I want to tell a story that prompted me to have this conversation here, right? Why I'm doing this video. So I'm sitting in the pub with my buddy Ben. That's actually not his real name. I'm going to call him Ben for the sake of this video. And we're having a conversation. And Ben is divorced. He's got a kid. But he's still in his late 50s, so he's got a lot of life in front of him. I mean, think about it. He's got at least 20 years. The average person lives around 81 in Japan, in America, in Australia, modern day countries, right? So he's got at least 20 years on average, if not more, right? Some people live longer than that. So obviously he doesn't want to be single for the rest of his life. So we're sitting there at the pub having a beer talking, and a woman comes in. She's in her, I never asked her age, so I'm just guessing. She's in her late 40s to early 50s. So she's definitely within my buddy Ben's realistic range of someone, you know, as you get older, the age gap lessens. And so, I mean, as far as, not the lessons on paper, but lessons as far as maturity and all that stuff. So someone in her late 40s, early 50s, dating and potentially getting married with someone in his mid to late 50s is not an unreasonable thing to consider. It happens all the time. So, and he is eyeballing her big time. I mean, he's like, every time she stands up to go to buy a drink, he's like, wow, man, she's so cute, blah, blah, blah. And so we're sitting there for a good 30, 40 minutes, you know, and she wanted to buy a drink, and then she wanted to go to the restroom, maybe even an hour. And every time, Ben is looking at her. And I'm like, dude, go up and talk to her. I mean, what do you have to lose? What's the worst possible outcome? Okay? What is the worst possible outcome versus the best possible outcome? Okay, the worst possible outcome in that situation, I said to him, look, she's going to say, look, I'm busy, or I'm waiting for someone, or she's going to outright ignore you. The best possible outcome is that, you know, you meet her, you fall in love, and you get married. The middle road outcomes is in between, right? Maybe you meet, you have a drink or two, maybe they have some dates, they hit it off, they make love a few times, it doesn't last long a time, or maybe they date for a while and they break up. But the point is, there's so many potential outcomes in between, the worst possible outcome and the best possible outcome, right? So anyway, the result of this was he didn't have the courage to do it. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go up to this girl, I'm going to say hello, and that's it. And I said hello, and I said, hey, my buddy Ben over there. First I introduced myself, and I was polite. It's quite interested in me. And she's like, oh yeah, he's a nice guy. She came over and we did a little quick conversation. And then unfortunately she's waiting for someone, so they're going to meet, and she's actually waiting for a guy to come. So in that case, it didn't work out, right? But she was, not upset at all. Didn't feel offended at all. And she was more willing to engage in a quick conversation. So all of Ben's worst fears were not realized. And this got me thinking about so many things in life. Guys, I have a recent personal experience that to me it's so deep and sensitive that I actually won't. I talk a lot about my life on videos. I'm open about most things, but occasionally there's some things that actually I don't want to share with the public. But I did have one pretty recent issue where I was afraid to communicate something to someone. Let's just leave it at that, okay? Someone who's very close to me, and they date to me, there was an issue, and I feared, and I stressed about this for a long time. And I actually talked to my friends about it, and that's how deeply stressed I was about this. I didn't want to bring this up. Something that was really bothering me, and it's just a deep personal thing, and it's about my personal relations, so I don't want to bring that up. Not the detail of it. But the point was, I feared for months. We're not talking about a few days. We're not talking about weeks. We're talking months. Just when I feared bringing this up, and I needed to. I needed to overcome this issue with this person who is very, I mean, if it's an average person in my life, it's one thing, but it's a deep friendship with this person, right? Deep, close, personal person, right? Who I am in contact with all the time, right? And there was something that was really bothering me. And so finally, I decided to bring it up. I decided to look, and I feared that could be the end of our relationship. But the reality is that did not happen either. We had a long conversation about it, and we're still close to this day. Okay, so well, a lot of people are coming in this bar. So that was another example of a fear I never realized. And then watching what happened to my buddy today and thinking about that, I realized something that 99% of your fears in my life, from each of my persons, never materialize. Okay, so there's a lot of people out there interested in jumping into Ecom. It doesn't have to be Ecom. It can be anything online. It could be internet. It could be YouTube. It could be blogging. It could be affiliate marketing, whatever, right? And here's the reality: is most of the time, the worst outcome that we imagine, the thing that we fear the most, never materializes. 99% of fears never materialize. Now, okay, maybe you jump into affiliate marketing, it doesn't work for you, or e-com doesn't work for you, and for some reason it's not a good fit for you, and you end up losing money. And right, so what? You lose some money, right? Money is replaceable. But all the other things, the deep fears that like maybe go bankrupt and lose my house and my family gets upset with me for taking a risk, and all the other things, all the other bullshit story that you make up in your mind will most likely never come true. And the bad outcome that potentially could come true, yes, okay, losing a bit of money on a business opportunity, on trying out a new business, taking a risk, that can happen, right? I'm not going to deny that. It happens, right? It happens all the time. I'm not going to lie to you and say it doesn't. It does. But it's not that painful. I guess I've lost money on businesses myself before that weren't the right fit for me for whatever reason. I failed, right? Money is replaceable. But here's the thing, and Wayne Gretzky said this, and it's absolutely true. You miss 100% of the shots you never take. Repeat that. You miss 100% of the shots you never take. So what that means is if you never take the risk, you never achieve success. If you're never willing to even take any chance and make that shot or shoot, in this case it was hockey, right? Or micro basketball. If you never do that, you will never have success. Period. If I never took a chance on getting the e-com, getting the affiliate marketing, stuff with affiliate marketing I had moderate success, but affiliate marketing led to e-com. If I had not taken the chance on affiliate marketing and had some minimum success, I would have never gotten e-com because I would have failed in that business because I never started. At some point, you have to take some risk, and you got to realize, yes, you will fail at some businesses. I failed too. Okay, I have failed before too. I'm not ashamed to admit that. That's part of it. But the failure can often lead to experience success, and the money time you lose is often worth it because of what you learned and what follows after that. So, I mean, I'm not talking about some big super tactics, right? But actually, what I'm talking about today, you know, a lot of my videos are like this, you should do this, that, and people love those videos. And that's what people pay most attention to. To be honest with you, this video will probably not get a lot of views. It won't, because every time I talk about these mindset shit, people don't pay attention. But actually, the truth is, this video I just made tonight, right now, is more important than tactics videos that I actually make. These nitty-gritty tactics, sales, you know, marketing tactics, and product development tactics that I talk about in a lot of my videos. Because, guys, fear is holding you back from who you can be. It truly is. And I want you to remember, every time you fear something, that 99% of your fears, we're adjusting the camera a little bit. Wow, that was so cool. My new gimbal. I could just point on the button and bring it up. 99% of your fears will never come true. And I was just sorry. I'm in the middle of my main point. I bragged to my gimbal. I got this new electric gimbal. I'm still learning how to use it. But I just want you to remember, guys, something. 99% of what you fear will never, ever materialize. Okay. So go out, and I want you to pursue your dream. If you're interested in my coaching, my program, my course, or whatever, message me, and we'll see you in the next video. And cheers.